He was just 2.3 years old at that time. But they told he may come under autism. I heard the word autism first time in my life. I was so scared. I don't know what to do. Everyone is always pointing that it's because I was only taking care of my elder son. I was not taking care of Advit. I was not finding time to talk with him. I was not taking the proper medication during my prenatal period. The list was going on like that. One day I saw the therapist who was working with him was pushing him, pulling him, shouting at him and dragging. And I felt so bad. Motherhood is a bond every woman treasures. Yet, when she discovers that her own child can't recognize her as his mother, her heart breaks in silence. And while she was already broken inside, people around her pointing out that there is something wrong with her child, saying it's all because of her bad parenting. That was my story. I am that mother. Advit's mother. I am Smrithy. I was born and brought up in a village in Kerala. I completed my post-graduation in mathematics and I was working as a math lecturer in Kerala. After marriage, I shifted to Bengaluru with my husband. We were blessed with two beautiful children, Aditya and Adwit. Adwit is our younger son. He was a very cute, good-looking, chubby boy. He was very much interested with people and he was always playing with his brother. His favorite cartoon was Thomas and Friends. And I was really enjoying my motherhood. And Aditya started going to school. I felt after 2 years, Adwit will also start going to school and I can go back to my profession. But everything changed when Adwit completed 1.5 years. He was completely into his own world. He was not bothered about I'm around him or not. If he needs something, he was just pulling someone's hand to the kitchen and was trying to communicate using other people's hands. But he was not pointing to the desired object or he was not trying to use his words to communicate. In my next pediatrician's visit, I explained about all these concerns to my pediatrician, but she just smiled and told, you are just comparing your children. Each child is different. And see, Adwit is such a beautiful child. And if speech is your concern, you can just start sending him to a play school and then he'll pick up speech fast. Okay, then we decided to send him to a play school. And at that time, he was 2 years, 2 months, and he started going to a play school. There also the teachers welcomed him and told, he is such a cute, chubby boy, and you don't worry about his speech, he'll be fine after 2 months. But after 1 month, they called me for a meeting and they told, he is different from other children. As a parent, it was not easy for us to hear that words from a teacher. But we tried to accept that and they suggested to go for a proper evaluation to find out what is the difference in him. Then we went to NIMHANS for a detailed checkup and from the speech department in NIMHANS, Adwit got diagnosed with ADHD, Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder. They told that he may come under autism. They told it's too early to diagnose him as autistic because he was just 2.3 years old at that time. But they told he may come under autism. I heard the word autism first time in my life. I was so scared. I don't know what to do. They explained to me some features of autism. We came back to home. We were discussing about all these findings to our extended family, to our parents. No one was ready to accept that. Everyone was trying to find why it happened to him. And they concluded that it's all because of my bad parenting. First of all, I was not aware about autism. I don't know how to move forward. And everyone around me are blaming that it's all because of me. Of course, in that pressure, I slipped into depression. I was not able to do anything. Completely, I went into depression. I was crying continuously. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. There was no one around me to express my feelings. Everyone is always pointing that it's because I was only taking care of my elder son. I was not taking care of Advait. I was not finding time to talk with him. I was not taking the proper medication during my prenatal period. The list was going on like that. And my depression started affecting both my children. Aditya's teachers were also telling that he became very gloomy. He's not playing with children. He's not eating his food. That was a warning sign for me. I realized that I have to come out of this phase. Otherwise, I will lose both my children. Somehow, I pushed myself. I decided that if I am not taking care of my child, who will do that? Everyone is behind why it happened, but there is no point in that. I have to find my own ways to work it out. So we continued the practice, and Advait showed remarkable improvements after 5 to 6 months, and he started vocalizing. And we thought, yes, now he will talk and everything will be fine and he'll go back to a normal school and then our life will be as usual. But again, regression happened because everyone was forcing him to talk. And that was too much for Advait. And he stopped cooperating with the therapist. And one day I saw the therapist who was working with him was pushing him, pulling him, shouting at him and dragging. And I felt so bad. He was just a 2-year, 7-month-old child. And because he got the diagnosis of ADHD and autism, how people can treat him like this? He's a child and I don't want my child to punish like this in the name of a therapy. I held his hand and went out of that place and decided that I don't want to continue this form of therapy. I started searching for special school and all the places were rejecting Advait by telling that he is a very difficult child to handle. Because from the other speech therapy center, he learned to cry and escape from all the activities. And he was crying loudly. So all the centers, all the very famous centers in Bangalore rejected him by telling he's a very difficult child to train and we can't help you. At last, one school called Bubble Center for Autism in Bangalore were ready to give us some slot after their school program. It was very difficult for me to adjust with their timing. It was a long distance, 20 plus 20, 40 kilometers we have to travel. But somebody opened door for us. I took that opportunity and we started taking training from them. And I completed my practicals also there. All our extended family, everyone was bothered about my husband's job. If he is running around for helping me to take my son to the therapy centers and all, what will happen to his job? Then how you people will survive? That was the main concern from everyone. And everyone believes that it's a mother's responsibility to do all these things, to take care of their children or to fulfill all the children's needs. And I learned driving and I believe that was the great milestone in my life. Then I became independent. It was not easy to drive in Bangalore 20 kilometers one way to school. Advait was very hyper. He was jumping out front and back into the car. And people were looking into the car and were honking because I was driving slowly. I don't care because my priority was my child, his intervention programs. One day, when I was going back to home with Advait, he was just pulling my hand, forgetting his favorite snack. And for that second, I lost my control. And the result was an accident. I don't know how I overcame that situation, but inside the car, me and Advait was safe. My husband also supported me by telling that it's okay. Both of you were safe. At that moment, I thought, after this, I won't be able to drive. But again, in front of me, there was no other way to move forward with my child. Again, I was continuing my driving with more care. I focused into his strength. And when I was focusing into his strength, his energy was his strength. That was a complaint for other people. He is always hyperactive. He is running around. He is jumping around. But that was his strength. And then I thought of introducing different physical activities to him. Cycling, skating, swimming, playing basketball, badminton, going to horse riding classes. And it became a part of his routine. Initially, he was resisting. He wanted to simply run around. And putting into a rule was not easy. But I consistently followed the routine with a determined mind. And that helped him to learn all those skills, and it became a part of his daily routine. I got an opportunity to take him for a state level roller skating championship. I was not sure that he'll be able to participate, and he was not aware about winning or losing. But I thought, let's take this opportunity. We went, he participated, and he won a gold medal for the state level roller skating championship. That was a great turning point in his life. During that time, we planned for a vacation to Maldives. As usual, I prepared Advait very well for the travel, and we reached Bengaluru airport. When we were standing in the queue, Advait was very happy, excited. There was no problem in his behaviors. But two Sri Lankan airline staff started staring at him and approached us, asked about his problem. According to them, he is looking different and there is a problem in him. We showed his UDID card and make them understand that he has autism. Then they were telling that they can't let him to fly because he will be a threat to other passengers. I was really upset with their statement, and I informed them that they have no rights to talk like this in front of my child. First of all, autism is not a mental illness. It is just a condition, and they have the rights to travel across the globe like us. You should understand that. But they were not ready to accept that. And even they deleted the video that they took about the incident. And then I contacted other authorities in Bengaluru airport. They came to help us. But still they were asking for a special permission from a doctor who can certify that Advait can fly. I told them that Advait is not under medication, and so that we don't have any doctor to certify that. But still it was going on, and the situation was really bad. Because my anxiety shoot up by thinking that Advait is listening to all these things. He is feeling very bad. His anxiety also shooting up. See, everyone was looking for a great holiday, and what is happening around? If they are not allowing us to fly, we will lose all the money that we spent to book the tickets. And the happiness, more than anything, they are spoiling our mood and happiness. And after 1.5 hours of fighting, they let us to fly. And all these 1.5 hours, Advait was fine. He was looking sad by listening to that, but he was not showing any behaviors. We came back to Bangalore. I created a social media page to share the experience, and that social media page became viral. In different social media platforms that came, many people shared, and we complained about this incident to Airport Authority of India, DGCA, and to Bengaluru airport authorities, but unfortunately, no one responded to my complaint. At last, with one of the social media friend who was giving me the information about the court of Chief Commissioner of Persons with Disabilities, and we sent the complaint to them. The Court of Chief Commissioner of Persons with Disabilities reported this, and they took as your motto complaint against Sri Lankan Airlines. The Chief Commissioner called me to understand about my stand, and the only demand from my side is I don't want any other parent to go through the same situation. And after 3 hearings, the judgment came. According to the judgment from the Commissioner, all the airlines, including Indian and foreign airlines operating in India, should provide provisions for persons with disabilities according to PWD Act 2016. They should ensure the dignity and the safety of the persons with disabilities. That was a big step towards inclusion. Even though I had very bad experience with Sri Lankan Airlines in the airport, I was able to make sure that all other families can get a better support in that situation. No one will go through the same situations. I was able to make that change in the society for inclusion. We created a Facebook page, named it as Adu's Little Creations. Now, Adu's Little Creations completed 8 years, and he has customers across the globe. He made thousands of sets according to orders. He got an award from India Book of Records for being the CEO of Adu's Little Creations. So he was a child who was rejected from places by telling that nothing to do with this child. That child is an Indian Book of Record achiever. He is a proud entrepreneur. He has a valued role in the society. And he is not only selling the items, he is able to do all the works from purchasing materials, calculations related to that, communicating with his customers, sending items through couriers, making Excel in all the documents. He is doing all the steps. That is the program I created for him. Now I took a back seat and he is in the front and he is able to move forward, and I am his sales manager. Acceptance starts from us. When we are ready to accept our children the way how they are, of course the society will join with us. So we should take the first step towards inclusion, and our children can become productive members in the society. My heartfelt thanks to Josh Talks for providing me this great platform to share my journey.